All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Heroes and Thieves. My name is Greg.
And I am Michael. Hello.
This is episode 2 of season 2.
Yeah.
And just so you're aware, if you did not watch episode 1, you should do that because this is a continuous season.
Continuous, meaning no other worlds here.
Yep, this is the same world. So starting every episode at the beginning, we're going to do a quick recap of what we talked about before, but not get too into it. And then we're going to dive right into the today's contents. But first, I want to say a few things. Well, actually, first, let's do the recap.
Yeah. So also, during these episodes, we're going to be heavily drawing back to what we've talked about before. So it is important to listen from the beginning of the season.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and side note, I have to apologize. My audio was bad last time because of a technical error on my end. This time it should be fixed up.
Big dummy.
If it's not, then I'll fix it next time. But it should be fixed. So, quick recap of last week. We started to create our world. We started with the mythology of the creation, which basically was we have our sun, who is called Phoenix. And she is from now on, I'm calling her she, by the way.
Okay.
She is the mother of creation. When she rises, as the normal sun in our world rises, she has the shape of a phoenix, correct? We decided that?
Yeah.
It wasn't just a ball of light. It's an
actual phoenix that bursts out of this dark egg that she comes to life out of every morning.
Yes. And her opposite, the moon, is Leviathan, who is we still haven't settled for sure, but it is her opposite in, the yin and the yang.
But we're still not set on what's good, what's bad. That's all up in the air still.
Right. Still not good and evil yet, but we do know that Phoenix, is the mother of the original ancient race.
Yes.
She's the direct mother of them. They have her blood, and they were magical. Their language was powerful.
Which gave them power, magic power, poetry power.
They had poetry. Well, yeah.
They went to poetry jams, and we're talking light breaks windows and that kind of thing. Yeah. They had a lot of poetry jams.
Oh, so good. A little Def Jam poetry.
Yeah.
Light break. That's accurate. So, yes, through their language, they were able to use magic, but also through their blood. But somehow, mysteriously, they disappeared off the face of the earth, or the planet, not called the earth. And all they have left is remnants of their civilization, which in modern times, or the times of our To Be D&D campaign, if you're able to find those remnants, you can gain some pretty serious magical power.
Did we decide if they were fully gone, or there's still a bloodline somehow?
There's still a bloodline that goes through the people, but I think they're not sure how it's chosen. In my mind, it's like a random thing. Some people are just born.
Oh, okay. So it's some are chosen people and some are not.
Yeah. So, but it's not like a genealogical thing.
The ancient people are gone.
And they are totally gone.
New people, but some manifest these phoenix powers.
Right.
Cool.
Right. And that's another mystery that is yet to be discovered by us or by the denizens of this world.
Cool.
So I think that's good enough for a recap, right? Oh, we talked about...
There's also an alternate dimension on the world, on the planet, that Leviathan had created almost exact copies or doppelgangers of all of the living people.
Bingo.
And we kind of didn't decide really what we're doing with them yet, but we're going to get back to that sometime.
Right. We will get back to that. That is on the shelf, but it's a really exciting prospect.
Yeah.
So that's the recap, yeah?
Yes, and all magic is poetry.
Yes.
It's
in order to cast...
That's poem.
Yes. In order to cast magic, it's like a poem.
Yeah.
Think kind of Harry Potter, but a little bit longer.
but way cooler.
Wingardium Leviosa.
And then like another few sentences on that.
Yes. So on that note, I also want to give a shout out.
Shout out.
We post our episodes to a subreddit called World Building, which I highly suggest everyone go check out.
A lot of cool stuff there.
It's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool ideas. People are very creative. But I posted our episode, and we got a few comments of people. I gave a little prompt saying, if you were given those 3 words, poetry, doppelganger, and sunrise, what would you come up with in an hour? Kind of a challenge. Like, you think you could do better than us? Turns out
you probably can.
Turns out these people could. So there's one comment here from one user who basically had the sun and the moon, and they were just called sun and moon capitalized, which I think is kind of cool in its own way, and how they chased each other basically. But when one of the, you have to go read it. It's pretty good. But when one of them died, one of the children died. I think the sun and the moon were the children. And when one of them died, a poem was spoken. And the poem goes like this. And remember, this user did this poem like right after I posted it. Yeah. So not much thought into it. But the poem says, with these words spoken, may the sun rise. By the end of this tale, it will be as I surmise. It's just like pretty cool, right?
Really nice.
Simple, to the point, very cool. And with that poem, I think that child who had died got revived by the god above them. So just awesome. And then they went into a little more detail. There was one other one that had, the whole thing was poetic basically. And it was just fun it was like reading a long form poem. It was really good. But basically poetry is what created the universe. Because at the start there was nothing. The empty silver reflected itself infinitely and perfectly, poetic in a way. The silver void whispered itself a poem, and finally there was something, anything to reflect. So it kind of reminded me of like the beginning of the Bible almost. You know how it's like in the beginning there was the word. And just like it keeps going on and on. That's kind of the vibes I got here a little bit. But then this user brought up how the first souls who were basically birthed from the gods were the tieflings, because this is a D&D style campaign. The tieflings,
yes.
Which I had forgotten about. But basically, I think the tieflings are ones who are randomly born. Like, I think they could just be born of 2 humans, but they are imbued with like godlike qualities, and they look different.
Yeah.
Like very different. Like I think they have like horns and stuff like that. Like
I thought they were like fairy-like. Is that not
kind of like fairy-like? I think, but
I haven't seen a picture in a while.
All the ones, all the pictures I've seen are like, imagine a classic demon, but not evil looking.
Okay, with the tail and like, I gotcha. Like lizardy kind of, dragon kind of ish.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But they're not evil. They're not full of malice and whatnot. But they are born of the gods.
They look pretty maliceful.
A little bit maliceful.
Maliceful. Yeah, yes.
But I thought that was a perfect segue. Like we could have used that in ours when we said that those who were born of the Phoenix, because we didn't really decide what they were. I'm kind of just picturing like an advanced human, but could have been tieflings. But anyways, shout out to those users on Reddit, because those
that's cool.
Quick entries they did were pretty cool.
Very cool stuff.
Big ups to them. If you're interested, I'll be dropping it again every episode on that subreddit, and you can give me your thoughts and tell us why you're better than us through the
or just have fun time and contribute.
Just have fun and contribute.
Have fun.
It's all about a community.
Have fun world building, huh?
So, anyways, I think that's it.
Cool. Let's get to it.
Let's dive into this episode then. Let me scroll over. Okay, so word number 1, and today we're going to we'll see where it goes. Could go anywhere, but we're going to try to formulate our physical world, because we didn't do that last episode.
That's
So,
right.
we're-
So we're
We're
gonna
gonna try and formulate something.
be building like the actual world people are living on. We're gonna
Yes.
try to stay in there, but if the ideas start flowing, we're not gonna stop ourselves.
No, we're not. Could
So,
go anywhere. That's what
that's-
world building's all about.
It is your turn for the words. I'm excited to hear what these are, and remember, I do not know what these are, so I'm just as new as anyone else listening.
Correct. These are all me, baby. Okay. Word number 1 is warning.
Warning.
Yes.
Okay. Warning. There's a lot of things to do with warnings.
Mm-hmm.
My initial thought is like the people are constantly, there's these like prophets warning of something that's going to happen.
Yep.
So that's my first warning sign is these prophets. Obviously, people, some believe, some don't. Majority don't. Most of the time, believe in prophets giving big warnings to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a classic go-to.
Yeah.
I think that's an old faithful.
It's pretty safe. Or what else could we do with warning? I feel that's all I've got actually with warning right now.
I mean, a warning is a warning, right? Whether it comes from a prophet or it comes from
Like-
a god or anything. It's
yeah, the
kind of the
warning
same premise.
I want to say it is that obviously it's a big deal if it's coming from prophets. It's a thing to be taken seriously. But the warning that's happening is that sooner or later, Phoenix will go a while without being reborn. And there will be a time of darkness in the land. So that's what I think. I think
Okay.
that would be a cool story arc to tell.
So like a period of long night.
A period of darkness and night where the doppelgangers come out. You know, like that could be a thing. Like now that Phoenix
Yeah.
isn't in the world anymore, for this period of time, like Phoenix is not there. The warnings were we need to get ready, we need to get prepared, we need to train the Phoenix born to be able to harness their abilities to somehow ward the towns, ward the people, because that's something they can do against the darkness.
Okay, so on the doppelgangers, then what you just said makes me want to put the doppelgangers in the real world, not in an alternate dimension. But I think they were stifled by her constant presence.
Like
So-
they're like shadow people and they can't come out kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is like there's some sort of shadow people. Whether or not they're like actual physical beings, I'm not sure, but they are a people, great in number, because remember Leviathan created them to be a copy of her creation
Of all the people.
Phoenix of the people, yeah. And so there's a lot of them, but Phoenix saw them as kind of an abomination when
Right.
they were first created, and she was like, "No way," and she
And
shut that down
her light can,
real
like-
fast.
But it's cool. You know, it would be cool if these people, the doppelgangers, like need the darkness. The longer they can stay in the dark, the more like formed they can become. So maybe they're more just shadows, like you said. But if they're in the dark for a long period of time, like multiple days or something, they're able to take on a more physical form and actually be people. And that's what they want. They want to just become people, maybe in like a innocent way, like I just want to be a person and not a shadow. I want to touch. I want to feel. I want to, I want to run through the field. I want to touch grass, that kind of thing. They don't just want to be shadows anymore.
Which
So
some of
it's-
you guys need to do more of.
Somebody needs to touch some grass. I do. I've been quarantined in this room forever. But anyway, yeah. So they're just shadows, and they just want to be. So that it keeps it kind of neutral still. They're like not bad. They're just these shadows, and they want to become people. But when the Phoenix people start seeing them becoming this, they get afraid. Like there's people coming out of the shadows. That's a bad thing. It's not a good thing. And so they're being kind of oppressive towards this. or they would if this happens in this scenario of, because we're still talking about the warning, right? Like the warning is this is going to happen.
The warning is the long night.
The long night
is going to be.
Yeah, and things are going to happen that we don't want. Because Phoenix is telling them they're an abomination. They're not real people. They're just, doppelgangers.
Yeah.
And my light keeps them away. Because every night I wake up, I shine light and they lose their shadowy, they go back to shadows because the light is casting out on them. So, so if this darkness happens, all these people would come to reality. But what they don't know is that they don't have any sinister motives. They just want to be people.
Right.
So that's where the conflict is coming in.
Okay. All right. Okay, so then back to the warning. So the warning is coming. Who's the warning coming from? Just
Phoenix.
Like the prophets. It's coming from Phoenix herself.
Yeah, can somehow speak to maybe they're not prophets, maybe they're the Phoenix born people. They have these, I don't know, fiery visions of this
Right,
happening.
just like dreams or something that she can send to them.
But it's all fire because she's fire.
But it's good fire. It's cleansing fire.
It's the cleansing fire of the Phoenix.
So they're receiving warnings. So they receive warnings from her, and they are her mouthpieces to the people saying, hey, everybody, eventually her power is going to wane. She's not going to be reborn every day. We need to figure out, it's up to us to figure out how to fix that, resolve that problem. Is it resolvable, or is she just saying like, good luck, y'all?
Yeah, maybe it's like harnessing Phoenix people. Maybe they have to prepare their cities with light. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I want to say that maybe she's giving the warning because she knows that in time Leviathan's power will overtake her.
Yeah,
so
the light can only live for so long.
Right. And so she's pleading with her Phoenix-born to kind of figure something out. Like she's saying, I need you to help me.
Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, channel souls up to her somehow. Like power her, feed her, fuel her.
Yeah, there's some way that they have to help her out, but we can workshop that as we go. But
yeah, that makes me want to say like the Phoenix people are like, they're so zealous in their faith to Phoenix.
Yeah.
That like they'll do anything. They'll do sacrifices. They'll do, all this stuff to keep the sun alive. And it's very cult-like. But they're not evil, but they're sounding more like the oppressive class.
Right.
If the doppelganger, if Leviathan's children do come to be, then they would definitely be more oppressive.
I want to say, like, there's so many angles that they could approach it from, and also remember the way that the way that I'm thinking of it is, that the Phoenix born aren't that numerous. There's not that many of them.
Right.
So it's more of like a one-off thing. It's totally random, not very high chance that Phoenix born are born. And so I think some of them would end up being zealous, but then some of them, because they're also individuals. So some of them take that as a call to action saying, I have to go slay some shadow people and some fiends or whatever bad guys are out there.
Yeah.
Anything of the dark, I'm killing it. Like a zealous paladin.
Yeah.
But then I think there's others who say, I need to take this gift that I've been born with from Phoenix and use it to help others.
Yeah.
So I think there's people all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about like D&D classes, the first one, right, would be like a paladin. Second one might be like a cleric or something. But then also there's probably a Phoenix born who is a rogue.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or a pirate who just uses their powers however they want. They're just like, I'm born with the Phoenix blood, so I'm kind of dope that way.
Yeah, I could do whatever I want. This is a blessing.
means I'm a really good thief. Yeah.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, every single one of these people receives the same vision, the same dream, and has been for millennia. But the interpretation of it is so different.
Every time it's different.
Yeah, no matter whoever you're talking to, the story can be interpreted differently. So I think then it would be up to us to determine what is the true story. Because I mean, somebody has to know that. So I guess we have to know what is the real story. What's the message she's trying to send?
Yeah, only Phoenix knows.
How can people deviate from that?
Yeah,
because that would make for an interesting story. Also, we need to keep in mind that we're building not just one point in the timeline, but we're building a whole history.
Exactly.
So
this is the warning that's been happening over millennia, like you said, at different points. And maybe the true story is that it's harmless, right? Like Phoenix and Leviathan are not fighting. They're not in endless conflict. They're just endless lovers, like that other tale goes, right? It's like, we're just going back and forth. And for a time, I'm going to be gone. And his children are coming out, and it's fine. But like the vision is people coming out of the shadows, and that's where it ends, kind of a thing. And it's up to like, that's terrible. It's a bad thing. And so it's like a scary
thing. Because you don't want the sun to go away, right?
Yeah. So like
scary things at night.
Yeah. The sun's gone on vacation, and she's just saying, hey, don't worry about it. You're going to have some new friends for a while. I'll come back and they'll be gone. But it's not how they're taking it.
I think at some point too, we should, if we're making monsters or talking about monsters, of course you have the classic nighttime bad guys, but then on the flip side, I think that there would also be those who are infused with light who are also bad. Not good things. Yeah. And so that's when people would learn like, hey, wait a second. I thought the light and the sun and the dancing in the meadows was all good, but then like this creature born of Phoenix is eating my children.
Right. Yeah. It's like the light, whatever, the dark eaters or whatever. They're just killing everything that is not light. So
right.
If it doesn't give light, it's dark and we need to destroy it.
Yeah. So I think this story is going to end up being more complicated than just a good versus evil, light versus dark. And then at the end, we find out, turns out all along, just like you said, like, they're actually lovers.
Yeah, and, it's different.
The Leviathan was actually her bodyguard. He followed her, something like that.
Yeah, he's doing his best at nighttime to keep the light there, but he just can't. So he's just doing his
just
thing.
like, it's like that eternal balance thing that like has to happen.
Oh, and then
they understand it, but the people don't.
Leviathan's children, when they come out, they're tasked with like protecting the other people from those really insane light people. So it's like they're trying to do good and trying to save people, but people see it as like they're attacking us, kind of a thing. There's all sorts of confusion, all sorts of that stuff happening, which is really cool. A lot of plot twisted.
I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with basically like religion, because like we see in our history, in our world, like people can take one religion. People can take one Bible and, do several things with it.
Yeah.
So
like the religion is good,
do.
But there's a lot of bad people that can be a part of it. It's like totally twist everything and give it a very bad name. So
yeah, exactly. As with any
fun
philosophy, any mindset.
Fun.
Okay. So that's our warning.
Yeah. What else you got?
On to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't built a world.
Still not. We're still dabbling. We'll see. Where we go. Warning was not a good building world word.
No, but now that I look at it, neither of these ones. Well, maybe the second one. Second word is, which I think we might have done before, but I'm doing it again. Merit.
Merit? No, we did badges, not merit.
We did badges. Okay, that's right. We did badges.
Yeah. Merit.
But this one is merit.
Merit. Okay. That's not a good word either.
Well, hold on.
For the purposes of building a world, like an actual Earth that people live on.
True. Yeah, if we were a little more into it, we could say that we're we could build a meritocracy type of government and people.
But that's not what merit means, is it?
It is.
Meritocracy?
Meritocracy is the same. It's the same word.
What does merit mean?
Let me Google it.
Because merit is like being good or worthy, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's what it says. The quality of being particularly good or worthy, especially so as to deserve praise or reward.
Is meritocracy government or the holding of power by people selected on the basis of their ability?
Yes.
So people who merit to be in charge are kind of a situation.
Which I don't think that's worked in our world, because like if you just have the best warrior in charge of your country, like they usually don't have
Right.
They're good at fighting, It's like having the class bully be the one in charge, like teaching everybody. It's like, just because you can beat me up doesn't mean that you're the best to lead this class.
I've read a lot of books, like fantasy books, that have to do with like tribal civilizations, and a lot of the chiefs in the town get to be chief because they've beaten or bested the last chief, right? Like in a duel, kind of like how like animal groups work, like wolves, like the biggest wolf like rules the pack.
Yeah.
Kind of a situation. But in those books, like oftentimes the chief is the dumbest person. He's just the biggest, strongest guy. So he really doesn't deserve to be there, other than the fact that he beat the last guy. So I don't think that works well at all.
We could
a lot of the time.
We could start. No, and that's actually what I was originally thinking, was building like a barbarian tribe that, exactly like you said, that was based off of, or not barbarian, because that's a class, isn't it?
It is.
Like a Goliath tribe or something like that.
Yeah.
Where they were built off of a meritocracy. So the strongest is the leader, which we could do that because it's our world. What else? What I was thinking just now, what about if we take a little inspiration from like Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged,
Okay.
That book is very pointed in its philosophy and its direction. Basically saying that, in my understanding, that people like Elon Musk should be the rulers, because they are clearly like the most adept at innovation. They made their own wealth, basically.
Yeah.
And so they are the most prepared and able to make the society wealthy, right? Because if they can do it for themselves, they can do it for everybody. Or if you played what's that game? BioShock.
Yes.
BioShock is very much the city Rapture.
The same way, yeah.
Is directly influenced by Ayn Rand. And
the people who created these inventions are the people who are running the place. Yep.
They basically said, like, America sucks, like we could do better, or the world up there sucks, we could do better.
Yeah.
So we built Rapture to prove it.
And we all saw how well that went.
Right. And we could take that exact thing and just whoop and make it that's what happened to our ancients.
Okay.
Because originally our ancients were, they started out great, then fine. They had all this magic power. They were tall, they were handsome, they were buff. They could jump high. They were just like
so high.
They could jump so high. No problem. But they just, in all these ways, they were just so amazing, and they had total dominion over like everything.
Yeah.
But because of that meritocracy, society kind of decayed, as it does, in like in Rapture and BioShock.
Yeah.
And
as it always will.
As it always will, because it's not a great running of government. And so through a series of events, like one person became so awesome at something and decided to lead a group of people, and there was a huge war, something like that. And then all of a sudden somebody summoned a giant meteor and just blew up the whole place, shattered everything.
Yeah.
We could do something like that.
I like that for the ancient civilization. That sounds good.
That would describe our ancient civilization, which segues us into what was the name of their city? And what did they name the planet?
That's a good question. Good set of questions.
Because I mean, at some point, we just got to do it, right? We just need to start deciding continents and land masses.
Okay,
and names
so
and places.
the city, their city, the ancient city, was called. Wait for it.
He's got something.
I'm just looking something up real quick.
Cool Latin words.
Super cool Latin words. Google, go. Hey Alexa, give me a cool Latin word for Phoenix.
Phoenicia.
I want it to be something like, oh, got it. The this word, I love this word, and you're gonna know why. The original city was called Paragon. Okay, that was the ancient city civilization.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. That's all. Paragon, because
like
that
that.
means like, outstanding. Great.
Yeah, like you're the paragon of excellence. You're
Yeah,
like
you are the example
ideal.
of everything good in the
Yeah,
world.
you're the ideal.
Yeah, so they named their city Paragon, and so ancient Paragon is now the old city that was destroyed.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yep, got it, nailed it. Write that
Write it
down.
down. Paragon.
Yeah,
It's also the ideal.
the
Game.
ideal, the best game.
Oh, that's perfect. That's so that's perfect too.
Rest in
Because
peace.
the game, may it rest in peace, is no longer with us.
Yeah, and now the new city is called Predecessor.
It's called
It's
Predecessor.
just like the new game that they're coming out with. It all works.
Oh yes.
No.
That's niche.
I think that the new city should be something like Paragon, but less good.
Oh, what's the new city? I'm confused.
Like the continent that they live on, I guess.
So are you saying that Paragon existed on some continent and then it got destroyed and now people built a city on top of it?
That was the ancient civilization city. It was called Paragon.
Yes.
So now we want to name more things, right? What else do we want to name? I was
Right.
thinking about naming the new civilization's main hub or something, or their whatever.
Well, I figured there'd be a few main hubs, right? Because now civilization has broken up into different races and
Yeah, I feel like for the continents, we could just like fantasy, like
yeah.
Tristia or something made up.
Rothil.
Yeah, something like it from Elder Scrolls or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't really matter,
Yeah, that's not a huge thing.
but I feel like city names should be good.
Yeah. So the old city was called Paragon. The only reason I'm questioning that is because the new people don't know about like where the old city was. They don't know anything. They know there's a bunch of ruins.
It
but they
was
don't
lost
necessarily
to
know.
time.
It was totally lost to time except for like ancient ruins that are buried underneath the earth. Things like that.
So they don't know that it was called Paragon, or do they? I want to say they do. Like there's texts
Maybe they
and
do.
stuff that live on today that refer to Paragon as this wonderful paradise of a place.
And maybe adventurers are trying to find it. Everybody
Yeah.
knows about it's like Atlantis.
Yes, exactly. They're trying to
Everybody knows
find
about
this
it.
place because they think
And
it exists.
Yeah, and if they
But
could
it
find
doesn't.
Paragon, they could unlock so much magic. Because imagine the text that would be there.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
all the
the
knowledge
home
that
of-
they can find.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Okay, so Paragon existed, and it was, kind of at the center of the center of the world, basically.
Yeah, it was the pinnacle achievement of the time, of all the people that lived,
Yeah,
and it was also the downfall, the epicenter of the madness.
yeah.
At the time that they were wiped out.
That's where the major evil wizard casted his, Ultima.
Yeah, because it was like one of those. ideals of like we're the best and we're like there's no point in living because we've already achieved everything and we're at the very top, so we're just gonna end it here. Kind of a situation.
Maybe
and he's crazy, obviously.
That could be a thing that we do, where instead of like a civil war or like an evil wizard, it was just a unanimous decision that we won.
Yeah, like we did it. We're done. So we're all gonna take the juice. We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, everybody take a sip.
All billion of us. Yeah, we could maybe. That's kind of hard to justify.
Well, we have to workshop that more, but it's like this end of times, but justified end.
Yeah,
it's probably hard to think about. But
regardless, the point is that just one day, boom, they were gone. They got Pompeyed.
Yeah, they were gone. They were wiped out.
Yeah. So recorded history just stopped. Okay, so we have the city of Paragon in the ancient times.
Yeah.
And everybody nowadays knows about it. Adventurers love to fantasize about finding it. Wizards, spellcasters especially, like when they're in school, all these little fledgling wizards are just like, I'm going to be the one to find it, and I'm going to unlock this, great magical power.
Yeah, all the power they had.
Okay. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
What was the word?
What are we talking about?
Merit was the word.
Okay, yeah. They built their society based on merit. Okay.
Yeah, so their society was a meritocracy.
And maybe the new society is like they found some of these texts that said this is how things should be run, and they're pushing for this to happen in their society, but there's much more pushback about it now.
Yeah, because there's so much more diversity of races and classes.
Yeah, it's much more
life. It's just
developed before an ultimate race happened. So there's all these people on even footing. So not one person can't say we're going to do this now. So it's still not taken into account. They're not doing it yet.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the name of one city.
One city that doesn't exist anymore.
A city that no longer exists.
Yeah.
Do we want to sidetrack and build a city just for fun, or build a continent just for fun, or do we want to just keep trucking?
Well, I kind of like the flow we've had so far up into this point.
We can just keep going.
Yeah, I feel like, should we move on to the last word and then see what we want to do?
Yeah. Okay. Last word's going to be tough, but I mean, when is it not?
When is it not? This is a tough thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. You ready for word number 3?
Yes.
Also, I want to make a note. I just saw my face.
Yeah.
I showed you a picture, but this morning I woke up with the nastiest sty in my right eye.
That is pretty gross.
And I looked like Quasimodo.
How do styes even happen?
I don't know.
Can I take a second here? Because they're pretty gross.
They are pretty gross. It feels
very painful.
Luckily, mine's not too bad. It just I just feel it though. But I can definitely feel it. But it feels like a pimple on the inside of my upper eyelid.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's hope it's not, because imagine.
Yikes.
Imagine getting pus in your eye.
That's pretty gross.
Ooh. But anyways, I woke up this morning and I was just like, what is this monster? But I think I got mine from what have I become? I think I got mine from recently just been coughing a lot.
You're farting on your pillow? Is that how you get
No, that's not sty, that's pink eye.
Were you messing around having a good time?
And I have not had pink eye since I taught little kindergartners, because they, poop is everywhere with kids.
I don't think I've had pink eye for at least 25 years.
Well, I want to say
a long time.
I want to say you're kind of missing out, because
am I missing out a couple days off work? Is that what it is?
Yeah, every experience I've had with pink eye is great, because nobody wants you around because it's nasty. But when I get pink eye, literally nothing is wrong with me except for my eye is super pink, and when I wake up in the morning,
doesn't it hurt?
No, not at all. Maybe for some people, but not for me. For me, it's such a vacation. I'm just like, yes.
Well, I like
But
to
it's
be
not like I'm,
clean. He said, it's time to rub some fecal matter in my eye.
yeah. Who wants to fart in my face?
I got to
I need
take
some
a day
days off work. No, it only happened to me because when I was teaching English in Taiwan to a bunch of or they weren't even kindergartners. They were like 4 or 5 years old. It was preschool, and they're gross. They're just gross. They put their hands down the back of their pants and then just like run around, smacking people. So
That is
naturally, I got pink eye like 2 or 3 times.
That's really
But every
gross.
time I was just like, hey, what's up? It's a day off. I'm sleeping in.
That's gross.
Anyways.
Anyway, what's the third word?
Not where I got this sty. The third word is sty. No, I'm just kidding. The third word is solution.
The solution.
Yes.
What's the problem?
Okay. All right. Is that rhetorical one?
We got to have a problem if we're going to find a solution.
Well, I kind of thought that. Yeah, like.
Oh,
when
no,
we
wait a minute.
talked about the warning.
We're not doing a solution like the answer to a question. We're doing a solution like a chemical mix-up of stuff. A solution. So,
Oh, okay. You don't want to know what I thought of.
What'd you think of?
I thought of, this isn't funny at all. I thought of Hitler's final solution.
That's not funny.
No, it's not. But that's what I thought you were going to say. But that is a solution, right? Technically, it has the word solution. That's what I'm trying to say. Has the word solution in it. He called it the final solution, which I don't even know exactly. Was his final solution
Clack, clack, clack.
genocide? I
mean, that was the start of World War II, wasn't it? Yeah.
The start was because he declared his final solution was genociding the Jews.
To genocide, yeah, to systematic genocide across Europe.
That was across Europe. So that was his final solution.
Yeah, that's like it would probably stem from the fact of like years of campaigning and political stuff before that happened, of him rising to power, saying these people are bad, we need to do something about it.
Yeah.
And then finally it came to a point where it's like, okay, well, this is my final solution. We're just going to kill all of them.
Yeah. And that's kind of what his presidential thing was, I will provide the final solution. But anyways, that's what I thought of because it has the word in it and it creates a ton of conflict.
Right.
As we have seen.
That's a classic solution, like an answer to a problem.
Right.
I'm not saying that that's the real solution. I'm saying
we do not condone what he did.
In that scenario, his solution,
in that definition,
the problem was the Jewish people. The solution was killing them.
Yes. But you're saying
that is false.
Solution as in
I'm saying
eye
solution.
drops.
Yes, as like two chemicals mixed together to be a solution.
Okay, we could go that route.
Either way can work. Like, I like the idea of a solution now that it's way more sinister in the context of like a Hitler solution.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Again, I said I like that. I don't like that. I like
Please do not quote us.
I like the idea in a fantasy world where none of this is real for something that extreme to happen.
But I have to add to that before you go on. I have to add that too is the reason why I even thought of that or draw upon that is because, like I said, it creates conflict and it's something that actually happened. And so it's something that could happen again, it's a real thing. We can't just avoid it and ignore it. And when we tell stories like this in fantasy, it's, again, I've said it before, but fantasy is like telling the truth, basically human truths, but in a fantasy way. And so, yeah, I think it's a very valid thing to do that we somehow come up with that sort of conflict and how it happened because it touches on human emotions.
Yeah. Cause like when you think of solution, or at least when I do, it's like, that's a positive word, right? Like, oh, I got the solution to the problem.
Yeah, the math problem.
Everybody celebrates, right? Like we figured it out.
Yeah.
But in these cases, it's like, that's someone's solution who is very bad. And you're right. It happens all the time. It happens all the time in our history. Like bad people's solutions are to take out a bunch of other people that don't deserve it. So that could be a thing. Like our Phoenix people are saying the solution is wipe out every non-Phoenix person or every shadow person. Like just wipe the shadows out altogether. Take out the dark completely. Mm-hmm. We're going to somehow illuminate the world 100% of the time. There is never dark.
Yeah.
Like that's an extreme way to finish the problem of darkness taking
Yeah,
over.
because they consider it a problem. And that's, now that I think about it, that's so manipulative to convince like what Hitler did, to convince your people that, hey, this is a solution. Because just like you said, the word solution implies that there's a problem.
Yeah, it's
so
a problem. Yeah.
So it's twisting it, saying like, I have the solution. But really, it's just, I want to murder people.
Yeah, it's a solution to what I see as a problem.
Yeah, it's twisting it in such a way.
Not an actual problem.
And to convince people that, oh, well, if he's got a solution, that means there's a problem. The problem are these people. Oh, okay, I'm on board.
Like, that's the solution. What's the problem? Okay, I get it. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that was a problem. But
yeah, it is pretty manipulative. It makes people think like you're right.
Yeah, it's
because
painting
you've
it in
solved
a good light, right?
Yeah, I've solved the problem.
Yeah, it's painting it in a better light than just, hey, I want to go murder everybody.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be interesting if we put our light, our Phoenix zealots in that same kind of situation where, yeah, their idea, all they think of is the solution is murder the dark or get rid of the dark. That's the solution.
Get rid of the dark. Yeah.
Then Phoenix will come back every day. We'll stop getting these visions, or the visions will be good. The visions will
and if Phoenix is gone, it's fine because we've gotten rid of the dark. So it'll just continue to be light because we've gotten rid of the dark.
Yeah, and that's what people don't realize is that you need the darkness to balance the light.
Yeah, exactly. That light is inherently chaotic and invasive and oppressive, whereas the dark did nothing to nobody. So it's just there. It just is, right? Well, the dark is just the absence of light. There is no such thing as dark. If you think about it.
It just is. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just a thing. Or it's not even a thing. It's just the absence of everything. Yeah. So it's like it's an anti-thing. Mm-hmm. So anyway, did you have more on your solution being 2 chemicals, or do you want to? That what I was going to go with that was I really like, after we talked about sinister stuff, the solution to be something bad, but my chemical thing was like it's kind of along the same lines. They're making a solution, like an actual like chemical treatment to infuse people with Phoenix power. So the Phoenix born are coming up with this way to like kind of take out of themselves, make a little potion that someone could take, and it grants them these like Phoenix powers for not all the time, but they're getting better at like sharing these powers with people.
Or what if, okay, so they're doing it to create an army, because like I said, there's not enough at without this chemical solution, there's not enough Phoenix born there's only a few zealots every now and then. You know, there's what's his name? The Charles Manson every now and then, who you just like, no thanks.
Yeah.
But what they're trying to do is create enough of people who they can imbue with their blood, and then these people will start getting the visions, maybe. Yeah. They'll start getting the dreams, and then they become twisted.
But the visions are a much more chaotic version of it, because it's this like weird doctored potion. It's like
not natural. It's
like a weird, more like delirious vision that they're having that's just like crazy, and they're like, oh no, now I see. This is bad. We need to do this. So more and more people are getting this vial solution that they're taking that's making them see this vision that is kind of manipulating them.
It's like they're playing telephone, like the first person gets the real vision, but then by the time they pass that potion around enough, the third person's getting this abomination of a vision.
It's just not even visions of death and destruction, and it has like every time it passes on, it has like more and more flaws in it, and it's more and more messed up. So you can't do it. So That's where I was going, and I do like that. I think
We can keep it. We just don't need. We don't have to call it a solution.
Yeah, it's not a solution. It's just a thing that they're doing to further grow their people and their following.
To build an army, build a civilization. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I want to establish like the number of Phoenix born there are, like, and the number
natural
of
Phoenix born
bad ones there are. Yeah, so like every 100 years, is there like 20 of them? At any given time, are there like 100 alive? And like,
no,
so
I think there's
like
more than that.
10 are bad.
I think there's a lot. I think.
Is it like half the population?
No, not half, but maybe like 1 in 10 or 1 in 15.
Okay, so there's a good amount of them.
Yeah, there's a lot, but like I said,
only some of them are bad.
Only a few, because everybody interprets things differently, right? So only a few. And so some of them maybe totally ignore it. Some of them, maybe they're just farmers' daughters and farmers' sons. They don't know what any of this means. They just have dreams and they're like, well, that's weird. Nobody else has those dreams. And then they just like move on. And then some people, the zealots, accept it as a calling and say, like, I need to, and they militarize. Yeah. But I was thinking like 1 in 15, 1 in 20. And so a very good number, but like people are so different that it's varies from person to person.
Yeah, especially like where you live, who you are friends with, how you're brought up, the society structure you're in.
Exactly.
All that stuff would lead into it, and that's cool.
And but the ones who are zealots do have banded together, just through life circumstance. They band together, and then they decide some faction. They created a faction.
Yeah, they're this faction of crazy Phoenix people that want to change everyone. They give everyone these powers and visions that they see.
Yeah, they want everybody to have it.
Yeah. Okay. That's sweet. And then the main bad Phoenix guy is the one with the solution to wipe out the dark.
Right. He's the one who, just like any cult leader, like what was his name? Not Tom Jones. That's a singer.
Tom
Jones.
The
Kool-Aid guy.
The Kool-Aid guy?
Yeah, they drank the Kool-Aid in South America.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
It was in the 70s, something like that. But that cult leader is basically just the guy who has the loudest mouth. He's very charismatic.
Yeah, very charming guy.
Just very charming. Could sell anything to anybody. But
very powerful guy, too.
Yes, he grabbed a hold of this vision and said, I'm going to take this further. And maybe there was a little bit of selfishness in there, too, because he wants to rule.
Yeah, like this is the way that I can come to power.
Yeah.
Get these people
and then also,
me.
There might be a little bit of other malevolence in there. Like maybe he was twisted by some actual evil being who took the visions and said, like, I'm going to get in this guy's brain a little bit and twist it. So we think he's the big bad, but in the end, the big bad is, something else.
There's a different big bad.
Different big bad.
There's always that.
Yeah. But yeah, he's the one who just right guy, right. Just like Hitler, right? Like,
yeah,
just happened to have the right personality traits, had the right upbringing and the right friends around him to create that perfect 1 in a trillion to have this really unfortunate thing happen. But it probably couldn't have happened with anybody else.
Nice.
So that's who creates this faction. So let's put a name on this faction. So this is going to be modern day. This is going to be let's set the precedence to build our world with our home point being our D&D campaign.
Yes.
So like we're going to say current day.
Yeah, current day this is happening.
So this cult that we're talking about with this leader is current day. I want to say that they're already like in the process of breeding this army. They've got those potions rolling. They're convincing poor young people to join them. So what's the name of the faction?
It's got to be something that sounds good.
Phoenix Rising. Phoenix, the sons of Phoenix.
I like the sons.
Yeah, because that sounds a little
Yeah, and in
almost.
Warhammer, there's a group of people called the Thousand Sons, and that's really cool.
Like Sons, SONS or SUNS?
SONS.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So if we say like this,
which is so cool to me.
yeah.
Like the I was gonna say the only begotten.
Excuse me.
Which doesn't really sound good for cults.
Oh, that's funny.
The Sons of Fire.
Hey, that's not bad. Sons of Flame, Sons of Fire,
Fires of Heaven.
Fires of Heaven. Shout out EverQuest. Shout out
Very old
what's his
EverQuest
name?
guild.
The guy that developed Overwatch. He was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sons of Fire or like Sons of the Flame or something like that.
Yeah. So
Sons of Fire.
Sons of Fire. I think it's cool.
Okay.
I think that's
We
cool.
can call it that. We can call it that. And so modern day, current day, this guy has come up into power seemingly out of nowhere, right? Just suddenly like,
Yeah,
what
just
the heck's
this
going
guy
on?
is leading factions of people.
And so he's got basically like a militia, and he has a very zealous youth. So I think his tactic was he recruited people who were not born with the Phoenix blood,
Right.
and probably young people who it's
want
very
it.
easy. Yeah, it's very easy to stoke the
They say,
fires
"Man,
of jealousy.
I want to jump high too.
Yeah.
How can I do this?
They're like, why wasn't I born with this? That's not fair. Give me the gift. And this guy's like,
Yeah,
well, it
they're
just
just
so
mad.
happens
Yeah.
you can have the gift. Yeah, it's easy to find jealousy.
Oh, it'd be cool if the Phoenixborn and all the Sons of Fire, when they take it and they become this, their eyes start to like glow red, as if they're like kind of like their pupils are like you could see like a little fire burning inside.
Fantastic. I love
That's
it.
so cool. So they're visually very easy to tell apart. Like that's a Son of Fire because he has fire in his eyes.
And it sounds like too. Now that you mentioned that, I think also once they take that potion or that elixir, whatever you call it, they're like mental. They're not the same person they were. Like if I've got a son, Tyler, and Tyler goes and just one day in his fiery, raging youth goes and joins the Sons of Fire, and then he comes home and he's just this angry, like, not the Tyler that I used to know, right? And I'm just like, no, get out of my house. You're not the son that I thought.
You know
you
what?
were.
I almost want it to be the opposite of that. Like they're rebellious, angry youth. And the way that they're getting on board, the parents are okay with this, is because when they take it, they become like stoic almost. They're like, they do what they're told. And they're very much and very militant. They're very like, I now do what I am told, and I'm told to purge dark. Like, not so black and white, but they're very much like the other way. It's like, wow, this kid is different. He's like lost his soul somehow. He's not the rebellious, bright youth that I used to have. He's just like, does what he's told. He's very, stoic all the time, and his eyes glow. So
they kind of get like tempered into these soldiers, these warriors.
Yeah, exactly. They're
their single-minded purpose.
Yeah, and this way, the leader, who we need to find a name for, his campaign is growing even amongst the parents now, because they're saying, yeah, this did wonders for my kid. He joined the Sons of Fire. Now he's this wonderful kid.
Right.
He totally turned around. So he's tricking them.
So the parents and the people who knew them don't yet recognize that this isn't a good thing. All they see is like, wow, my son has turned into this wonderful, like marching kind of, like he's a soldier.
Yeah, he's great. He's a respectable young man now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I like that. That's another good direction. So, okay, what's our time at? Ooh, we're getting there.
We're just about overtime.
We're just about there.
Yeah.
So we did not end up achieving.
We don't have a world still.
Still don't have a
We've
world.
got pieces of a lot of cool stuff.
We've got pieces coming together, which I really like. But we now have Paragon, the ancient city of Paragon.
Yeah.
May it rest in peace.
May it rest in peace. And we have New Salvation, which is the new city.
The new city.
Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it New Salvation.
That sounds like the main base camp of
the Sons of Fire.
Sons of Fire.
Yeah, and that
Sounds like they would name it New Salvation.
Yeah, I think next episode we'll come up with a name for the leader.
Yeah,
but I like it. I like it a lot. Actually.
Okay, so that's kind of what we did today. We developed a little more on the doppelgangers, a little bit more on the ancient people, their meritocracy, and how that was their downfall, and then we have this militant cult. That's their motives are still not quite clear, but they are militant and serve what they think is Phoenix's motivations.
Yes.
So
great.
We almost got a city and a name for the world, but
almost. We're getting there. We'll get there. We'll bring it all around soon.
We're getting there. That's all right.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time to go.
Plenty of time.
So anyways, for those of you out there who listened to this whole episode, thank you. You're the best. Keep listening in because it's only going to get better. This season's going to be amazing. I think it already is.
It already is. This is great. I love I love expanding on the world we built, not just leaving it as it was like last season.
Right.
We get to keep diving in, and I'm super stoked for that.
I'm pretty pumped about this. So the 3 words, just to recap, the 3 words were warning, merit, and solution.
Yeah.
So those are the words. Thanks for joining us today, guys and gals and people. We will be back early next week. What else do you have to say?
Nothing. I mean, follow us, give us a like. Review goes a long way. Tell your friends. That's the best way to get the word out. Tell your D&D groups about us. And yeah, that's it.
Actually, hold on. That's not it. If you have words you want us to use next time, give us a write. Write us at story@heroesandthieves.co. Submit your words there. We'd love to see them.
Yeah.
We'll hit them up like we have before. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.